AOC had a sad story about AOC, a very sad story about AOC, despite the fact that AOC is the youngest elected member of Congress, despite the fact that AOC is completely unqualified for her position on any intellectual or governmental level, despite the fact that AOC earns close to $180,000 a year and lives in a luxury apartment in Washington, D.C., she's a victim, don't you know? And she's a victim because she has student loan debt. Ooh, just like a lot of people, she has student loan debt. And this means that she has been victimized by the system. The system's bad. How do we know the system is bad? Listen to her case for why the system is bad. And let's see if you can spot the logical flaw in what she's saying.
I will be completely honest. I will disclose my personal stake in this fight because I have student loans too. And I think it's so funny. A year ago, I was waiting tables in a restaurant, and it was literally easier for me to become the youngest woman in American history elected to Congress than it is to pay off my student loan debt.
Okay, she is so unbelievably whiny. I'm sorry, stop bitching for a second. I mean, stop complaining. Like, that's so unbelievably whiny. I have student loan debt, poor little me, and therefore bail me out. I mean, talk about a privileged mentality. I voluntarily took out student loan debt, and then I used my college degree to brag about how smart I am because I have a degree in international relations where apparently I learned things like Jeremy Corbyn is wonderful and we have concentration camps on the border. And also I have a minor in economics where I learned things like capitalism is very bad and also it's some sort of oppression to grow certain types of vegetables in Brooklyn or something. And then she stands around talking, oh, poor little AOC. Oh, the heart weeps. Oh, we all have to. Okay, so if her contention is that it was easier for her to get elected to Congress than to pay off her student loan debt, this is an excellent case for her not being in Congress. It's an excellent case. And I will tell you why. If you are unable to pay off your student loan debt, I have a proposal. If you are unable or unwilling to pay off your student loan debt, you should not be a representative in the public sphere. Number one, you got skin in the game and you're bailing yourself out. So if you're bailing yourself out, that's not great. That's not a great thing. Because here we're not talking about you keeping more of your own money. We're talking about you being forgiven debt that you voluntarily took out. She's basically Michael Scott in The Office, running out in public shouting, I declare bankruptcy. It's ridiculous. Like, if you can't pay for your student loan debt, don't take it out. And also, your voters should know that, like, really, if it was easier for you to be elected to Congress than to pay off your student loan debt, that doesn't say a lot about you. Maybe you should have worked on paying off your student loan debt like a responsible human being. By the way, how much of that $175,000 to be in Congress, which is basically a part-time job, doesn't sound bad to me. Seems like you could pay your student loan debt off right now instead of asking me to pay off your student loan debt, lady. Really ridiculous. Okay, and then finally we have Ilhan Omar. So Ilhan Omar, who may or may not have once married her brother, this is still under dispute according to the Minneapolis Star-Tribune. She says that, don't worry guys, don't worry. Student loan debt, this isn't to give away to the rich. We need to do it right now. It's not a giveaway to the rich to give a bunch of people who graduated college and voluntarily took out debt forgiveness for their loans, as opposed to, low-income people who have to take out loans from payday lenders and stuff. No, we should definitely make sure that people who graduated from Harvard with $200,000 in debt, that their loans must be paid off. That's not a giveaway to the rich, says Ilhan Omar.
What my bill does is simple as it is revolutionary, as Senator Sanders says. It cancels all of 1.6 trillion student loan debt. No exceptions, no questions asked, full cancellation. You might ask, why full cancellation? What about the people who can pay off their student debt? Well, let me say this. The children of Donald Trump aren't asking or taking out student loans. Canceling student debt is a problem of the poor and the middle class, not of the rich.
Okay, that's absolute utter horsepucky. It's absolute nonsense. You know the reason it's absolute nonsense? Because many rich people do take out student loan debt, specifically because they want their kids to have to pay off the debt. Okay, also, many people take out student loan debt because the student loans are actually really low interest rates. So it doesn't make a lot of sense to pay cash out of pocket now when you could incur a low interest rate over time. Also, the idea is that you have increased your earning potential by going to college. So the question isn't, were you rich when you went into college and took out the loan debt? The question is, are you richer coming out? Because that was the whole bargain, wasn't it? Is that you were going to have a higher earning potential, and therefore you can pay off the debt. None of this makes any sense, but that's okay. It doesn't have to make sense. It's free stuff for everybody. Yay, Democrats. Don't you feel more free? I feel more free knowing that there are a bunch of Democrats who are going to come to my house with a gun if I don't pay taxes to pay for AOC's student loan debt. Makes me feel more free, I can tell you that.